All right, welcome back to another opportunity to learn, grow, and come back to the inner power that we all have within ourselves. It just needs to be uncovered. I received this wonderful opportunity to come down to Puebla, Mexico, to this wonderful woman's retreat center and home. And this is Karlita, or Karla, depending on nurturer or warrior, Armenta. So if you want to just introduce yourself in this beautiful home that I got to stay in for this past month.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And thank you for the beautiful introduction.
For sure, for sure.
Well, I want to start first talking about Casa Atma.
Yeah.
So my mother, she's the one who really started this project, this space. And she has been in this spiritual path for many years. So I got into this path because of her. So I really am part of it because of her. So
Right.
she's the one who taught me how to breathe, how to get in contact in a beautiful and respectful, loving way with my emotions. She's the one who has taught me about cycles, letting go. All of my tools, they are thanks to my mother.
And what age were you when you really started to get these lessons from her?
She invited me to my first meditation when I was 13.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you've been on the journey for quite a while.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So just for context here, I met Karlita about a month ago. I've known her virtually because she is one of my good friends' girlfriends and now one of my good friends. But I am also learning her story as we go along here. So you started when you were roughly 13 thanks to your mother, and she was the one that really got you into being in that awareness.
Yes, and before that, I danced classical ballet for 15 years.
Wow.
Yes, so really my path started there.
Right. And you said you traveled everywhere to do that as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, when I was 12, 13, in this age, I went to Russia with my teachers to see their roots of ballet, like where the best schools are. So I had this opportunity to be with them, live with them, eat with them. So to really observe and see if it was the environment I wanted to be involved.
Right.
And I had to take this decision super, super young.
Yeah.
So
yeah, very young.
Yeah.
Most people are not
Yes.
given that type of decision making so young.
Yes, and so this contact with my body has been very young, but it's beautiful because now I'm moving, I'm expressing, I'm creating with movement, but now it's with more awareness. Now I'm bringing the awareness of my breath, that maybe it's something that I missed when I was dancing.
Right.
And it's beautiful that now it can be more respectful because there's a moment when you're in classical ballet that it can be a little bit more of
it's all choreographed type situation.
Yes,
right.
and I don't know, you are very hard with yourself because you want to get into the perfection.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's competence, so you can have the best role in a way, right?
Yeah, I've had some other friends who have gone through intense ballet, and I've gotten a gist of just how rigid and intense the environment could be.
Yes,
Yeah.
but in the other way,
Yeah.
there's a lot of discipline.
Right.
That it's something that I think it's the best tool that I could learn since I was very little, to be disciplined.
Yeah.
And to know that if I want to go deeper into something, I need to be there every single day, no matter what.
And you said you started ballet at what age?
2 years old.
At 2 years old.
2 years old.
And you went to Russia around 13.
Yeah, 12, 13.
Okay.
And in that time is when my mom took me to some meditations, but I was kind of exploring, feeling it, but not full into it, but because I was still more into ballet.
Right.
But my mom,
Yeah.
like a good mother, she
Wonderful
wanted the
mother.
best.
Wonderful mother.
Yeah.
I've gotten to live with her for the past month.
Yeah, she loves you.
Oh,
She
she's
loves
wonderful.
you.
And your father.
Yes. So she wanted the best for me and my brother, right?
Yeah.
For both. So she will always invite us, and we took some classes. And well, when I decided to close this cycle of ballet, I started to get deeper into meditation. And then one day my mom invited me to a Kundalini Yoga class.
Ah, okay.
So this was like the first time I tried a yoga, asana, pranayama style.
You're really dropping into yourself. Yeah. And this was what age?
This was 15.
15. Okay.
Yeah. And it was really powerful because I've never like look inside.
Yeah.
You know, it was the first time I was like, wow, now I have to bring the awareness, like what's going inside.
Yeah, and to do that at that young of an age, like it's impressive because I think like the status quo, right? We're always being caught up in like school and friends and trying to be a certain way so that we could fit in. Like your upbringing is very unique in comparison to like my upbringing and the status quo upbringing, at least in the United States. So it's very cool that you had this opportunity to tap into like who you really are at that young of an age.
Yes.
Yeah.
And at the end, I've never been like kind of like fighting with my ballet part because this brought me to where I'm standing and sitting right now.
Right.
You know, it's part of my process that I have to pass through all of these teachings of ballet because at the end ballet gave me also this it taught me how to be passionate about something, respectful of my teachers, and to learn that it's a constant change. But now I started to taking it more aware, you know?
Right.
So it was really beautiful to share also this time with my mother to do Kundalini.
Yep.
And in one of the classes, one teacher, he saw me and he asked me if I was a ballet dancer or if I was taking ballet classes or something because he used to be a ballet dancer.
And he just knew by looking at you.
Yeah. Because you know.
Yeah, of course. You have a certain mannerisms to the way that you like have actions. Yeah.
How you move, how you express with your body, and how in contact you are with it.
Yeah.
Yes. So we were talking about it, but also I opened so much with him, and I told him that I was kind of like confused because I built a big identity and label of myself in ballet that I was in this cycle of letting go, and then I was like, so now what I will do? Right.
It took up like the entire 15 years of your life. Well, 13. You started at 2 years old. Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, I have to really observe myself and be like, if Karla is not the ballet dancer, who is Karla? So
was there a certain like moment, or was it this class or this like year that you were going through this transition that brought you to this, or was there something in ballet like in your last year or two where you just were kind of like, this isn't me, maybe I'm something else? Like was there a moment that had happened?
Yeah, so I finished until when I was like 15 years old the ballet classes because I wanted to close properly the cycle.
Okay.
Even though I knew it wasn't what I wanted to do for my life, I knew inside me I needed to finish like the whole thing, you know? I had to close the cycle so the next thing could come like easily.
How did you know it was the end of the cycle? Like what made it for you like you knew like this is it?
First of all, because there was nothing else after that.
Okay. You went as far as you could with ballet.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Or you go like into a school, but like to be a ballerina, but like traveling and doing that for life.
Got it.
So also it was the moment for me to close the cycle, and I was looking for something different and more like taking these meditations, and something inside me was moving and I was questioning a lot of things, and I wanted to feel like more free and softer with myself and not that hard in a way. So yes, when this teacher, Jap Singh, he told me about asanas, I was like, what is asanas? You know, like, what's this? Yeah, so I went to a class, and the first class was Ashtanga Yoga, and I fall in love, not with the practice. First, it was with the mantra.
Interesting. Okay.
I felt like the vibration and the strength of the mantra, and everyone's so focused and really getting inward that I was like, wow, this is like a different energy that I've never felt before.
And is this the same mantra that you open up classes with?
Yes.
Same one?
The
okay.
Same one.
So for context, if you guys don't know what Ashtanga Yoga is, Karlita will explain it. But when we get into our practice for the day, Karlita always opens up the practice with a specific mantra. Yep.
And the mantra is to open up the space.
Right.
The space, our physical body, our body,
Yep.
our mind, our thoughts, our limitations are beside, the judgments are beside. We leave everything away in that, we can call it like that. So yes, we open up the space. And
it's just there to practice. Yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah, so I tried this practice for the first time, and I was like, wow, it's very profound.
Yeah.
Because you see every part of yourself, the things that you like of yourself, and also things that you have to work with. We can call it the light and the shadow. And this practice is so real.
I'm learning it for the first time, like as of January 1st, January 2nd this year. As like Karlita is my first Ashtanga teacher, so I'm getting the glimpses of like where the frustration comes up and where the aggravation of like my body limitations comes up, my ability to just drift off into thought even while I'm doing asanas. And
It's because the practice is not just about like the physical body. Of course you find a balance of strength, flexibility, equilibrio like in your body. But if you go further that, you like understand that a lot of emotions are stored in our bodies, a lot of fears, a lot of doubts that we just store them and we never really like release them. So that's why sometimes you feel pain.
It's literally
tightness.
caught up in our nervous system. Like it's literally just like causing all these little knots, kind of like you have in your muscles.
So we can see like the body gets knots, and with your breath, you're slowly releasing all of it.
Yes. That's why breath work is so like profound. Yes,
and we do a type of breathing technique that helps you to warm up the body to like the blood circulate very well in your body, so you can like sweat all the toxins. And it's really like you are doing like this, but not just to your body, also to your mind, to your
nervous
beliefs,
system, the whole thing,
everything, your emotions. And then you can really observe that even though we have the same body, it's a different experience every single day. Because like you have seen in Ashtanga practice, we have sequence. There's 6 sequences in Ashtanga Yoga, but of course you start with the first one,
primary
and
series,
slowly the primary series, and slowly you start learning asana by asana, posture by posture, and you repeat this for a long time. It can be years, it can be all your life. But it's like the lifestyle, like our life, normal life. We have the same body, maybe we see the same persons every day, but it's never the same feeling, emotion.
And as you go through this practice, and like I saw this morning, I woke up, I saw something, I do like investing and trading on the side to pay for these things, which most of my YouTube channel doesn't know, but I woke up stressed, and then as soon as I like got into the practice, I was able to kind of like objectively look at it, and as I was going through the practice, it was like mud was getting washed off my metaphorical glasses so that I could see clearer, and I was able to just, with the breath, with the asanas, with the dristi, the focus, I was able to have an entirely different perspective of the events that were going on, the challenges that were going on in my life. And even more so from a non just like event related thing, also like the things that are more deeply stored in my body, like you're saying, are just like slowly being worked out. And so although yoga can make you feel very good at some points, the dark, does come out. Those unresolved emotions, and they do come out.
So I always recommend everyone, like to before starting your practice, just like observe yourself and really question yourself and ask yourself like, why I'm practicing, you know, like why I'm doing this, which part of me it's leading to this, because it's amazing that the practice can also question you and like really like bring you into like take out all these labels and identity that we put in our lives. You know?
Mm-hmm. And that is like a beautiful point because, as you know, I was just filming about self-awareness the other day. And this is the video that I released last week. Is yoga is an extremely powerful tool in becoming aware of these beliefs and these habits that we have, so that we're not, shackled to them. We're not caged by them. We can become aware, and if they are in alignment with us, those beliefs and those habits, we keep them. If they're not in alignment with, our greatest selves, the self that is happier, the self that is more peaceful, if they're not in alignment with that, then now we have the ability to shift out of that and learn new things and kind of clear the slate.
We open space for new things to come. Different tools, opportunities, people, environment, because for real, like I was sharing in the last retreat, our energetic mandala is made of everything. We put our intention and our time on it. Like your energetic mandala is made by the emotions you have, the people you have, the music you listen, the places you go, like your environment. Everything is made. So we are the observers of this mandala. We're not in the middle. We're just observing this mandala. So we are the ones who can change this. And day by day we can decide.
How do we want to show up in the world? Yeah, exactly. And again, like opening up that capacity for being aware instead of being inside the mandala, it gives us the ability to respond to life and create life instead of just constantly reacting to it and just being on autopilot. And also this practice is beautiful because we understand that we're in a physical world, a material world, so we have a physical body, of course, right? We want to have like a good communication and feel good with this material body. For sure.
So that's why we also make a very conscious movement to have it healthy, don't have any sickness. So when you are balanced, there's no space for sickness. Right. So you feel good with this shell. So slowly you can have a stable meditation base that is your body, so you can really spend here in a comfortable position some time and meditate, so this vehicle is not an obstacle anymore. And it's so nice to feel good with yourself.
And when we were preparing for like this conversation last night, because we're living together, so we get to see each other on a regular basis, but you had said to me, and I wrote it down, what you feed your mind and what you feed your body, it's manifested in your external actions, in your physical health, in the way that you think, and because you're thinking a certain way, you're going to behave a certain way. And so like you could just see how you're sitting, right? Like you have given yourself these tools, and you've given yourself the ability to like really sit with what is and what is not working to cleanse or add, and it has ended up being, this very, very healthy, very aligned, very stable, right? And you could just hear it in your conversation. You're present, you're clear, you're creative, you're structured.
Thank you. And yes, what you're saying is so beautiful because like this, we understand that we're a whole, that there's no separation. What you feed to your body, it will manifest in your mind, in your thoughts, in your emotions. What you feed to your emotion is automatically same to your body. So it's the same. They are not separate. So that's why we have to feed every single part of our being.
And be intentional with it.
Very intentional.
Yes, being conscious of the actions that we're taking and being intentional.
So when you're ready, that's why it's like a ladder, right? Like, okay, you do asana so you can have this good, stable body to do meditation. And when you finish your asana practice, as you've seen, your mind is a little bit more clear. There's less noise, so you can have this capacity of really observe yourself with less noise. With this trash.
Like literally noise, like less static in the mind.
Yeah, so after your asana practice, you can go outside the world and be more focused, more present, more loving, more humble, more grateful. Because sometimes I feel like my practice is like
like rotating? Oh, like a roller coaster?
Yes.
Yeah.
Of emotions.
Of course, yeah.
And it's like, wow, I felt so many things in 1.5 hours, 2 hours, or whatever is your time of practice. And it's like, wow, like I've observed so many sides of me, like everything that now I can go out so chill and so ready for everything.
Yeah.
And the practice really teach you to wherever you are, any situation you are, any decision you have to take a deep breath, before anything. So the practice connects you to your center, to your breath, so you can bring these tools to your normal life.
Right. That's why I love that we do it first thing in the morning too, because like with me meditating, I meditate, like I wake up, I go to the bathroom, I meditate. It's like immediately, and you come back to yourself before coming to the world. And like then you get to operate from this place of power, because instead of just waking up, going on your phone and reacting to the world and kind of not operating from like being conscious, being aware, I first come back to my breath. I first come back to listening to myself, and then go out in the world. And that's like one of the best things about Ashtanga. I mean, waking up at 6 a.m.,
This is an act of self-love.
It is, yeah. Self-discipline, self-love, same thing, It's
just like putting yourself first on the list.
Yes.
Okay, let's see what's going on inside.
Yep.
Okay, maybe you feel this. I won't put any pressure or judgment, but this is what's going on. And it's okay if today is like, I feel super heavy with my body. It's fine, because we can't expect it to be the same every single day.
Right.
We can get attached to this emotion of, I feel so good in my body. Right. But also you can get attached to the feeling of, wow, I will never progress. I feel so like tired. It's just like every day, it's a constant changing and changing and changing.
Right. Being fluid. Yep.
Fluid, open, humble, and grateful.
Yes. Yeah, and that's exactly what Ashtanga does. I don't want to lose your story, though, because her story, I do know some parts of it, and her story gets even cooler, right? So she knows so much about Ashtanga because she's an authorized teacher.
Yeah.
And to become an authorized teacher, you need to go to the source of where Ashtanga comes from, which is
Mysore.
A very specific place in India.
Yes.
So if you want to tell us, like, the first time that you went there, and then a little bit about, like, you were, I don't want to give the surprise away, but there's like certain things like other authorized teachers haven't experienced that you have experienced. So if you want to just share a little bit about, that transition of questioning yourself and leaving ballet and then coming into Ashtanga, I'd love to hear that. And I'm sure, it's a cool story,
So I met here in Puebla a teacher that she was the one who showed me the traditional Ashtanga yoga practice, and I practiced with her for some time, but then she left, and I was like, what I will do now? I'm alone, I'm young, and I'm like, I don't know what's the next step,
Right.
So with my mom, I started to read more about Ashtanga, and she was the one who found the institute, the school in India, in Mysore, and she told me, have you seen this or read about this? I'm like, no. So then we were looking at it, and it was like, wow, there's a whole tradition behind this practice.
Right.
And I love very traditional practices.
Right. They're rooted in something. They're rooted in time.
Roots.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Test of time. I mean, what other, credibility marker do you need? Yeah.
Yes. So then I was traveling a lot to Tulum in this time.
Yep.
And I met my first authorized and certified teacher of Ashtanga Yoga in Tulum. His name is Mark Roberts. And I was practicing with him for some time. And the first time I went to India is because he told me the school is open this time, so maybe you can send your application and you can go. And I was like, okay, I will try. Let's see, no expectation. and I got accepted. So after that, I was like, I'm ready to go and just be open and see what.
Yeah. I mean, you've already been to Russia and spent a lot of time in Russia. It's like not a big deal.
So I went to India, and
what age?
I was 20.
Okay.
Yes, 20.
Okay.
And wow, it was a whole experience because I was really not expecting anything at all. It wasn't like a trendy thing to go to Mysore at that time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if it is now.
It is now.
It is now?
It
okay.
is now. But
I'm not in the Ashtanga game.
it is now. Like,
yeah.
Like, it's very known now.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
But in that time, like, no one knew.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to the school. I got there. You went with a lot of details or more like...
I mean, listen, whatever you want to share. I just know that you've been doing this for a very long time, and like, I'm just going to give it away. She's the youngest person to ever be an authorized, Ashtanga teacher, which is wild. You know, that's a very cool accomplishment, you know. I think that shows your ballet discipline really came into play. Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember that I was 19.
19, okay.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes, wow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of people told me like, India is tough, you know, like you have to be prepared. And yes, I get it's not for everyone, but I was like, I think it's for me, but also I will just leave the door open. So I remember when I got to the airport and the doors open, and I took one step into India, like there.
For the first time.
I was like, I took really like, I'm in home. I felt so comfortable. Yeah. I was like, yes, I think this feels right.
You feel aligned with the decision, yeah.
I felt so good there.
That feeling is like, just like a nice pat on the back, like, keep going. Yeah.
I loved it. Yeah. So, well, I landed on, it was Bangalore. Okay. And then from Bangalore to Mysore, it's 4 hours driving. Okay. And I just had to like trust because I didn't knew the driver, like no one, and the roads are like crazy. And it was like the middle of the night when I arrived, and I was like, okay, this will take 4 hours, and I don't know where this person is taking me, you know? Like, I will just trust and be like... Yeah. I hope you end up at the right spot. Yes. So finally, I arrived there, and it was amazing. Like, to see the yogis walking with their mat, and like I was like, okay, maybe this is the community, you know? Right. So when I was in my first class, in my first practice, I remember I was shaking. I was like, wow, what if I forget something? You know, like I'm so like, it was a mix of happy, grateful, but also so like nervous and like shy. Right. It was like, wow, my first sun salutation like this, you know? Because also there's so much energy. Yeah. Everyone is so focused in their practice. Yeah. So present in themselves. No one never sees like who's beside. Right. They're so focused. Yes. I mean, if you're going to the source, you know, you are, you're there and you're going to be serious and take advantage of the actual experience. Yeah. So I was like, you know, and then I saw my teacher walking, Sharath Jois, and I saw him. I was like, wow, I'm not doubting of this tool, of this practice, of myself, of my decision, and of my teacher. Like, I know just by seeing him, how he moves, how he talks, how he's just like expressing and leading literally us, present. Yeah. I'm like, I'm in perfect hands, you know? Yeah. Yeah, you really just feel secured and supported in that. So grateful, yes. And also, it wasn't a big group of people in that time, because now there's more people like going. Right. But before it was like less. So it was really interesting. And like roughly, just to like gauge this experience for myself and for anybody who's listening, when you walk into this room, right? When you walk into this, I'm forgetting the name for it. Ashala. How many people would you say are practicing at one time? Maybe 60. It's a lot of people to walk in. You're by yourself at 19 years old, you know? Yes, but it's more about the energy you feel.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah,
Of course.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I felt so grateful in that moment that I could experience that so young.
Of course, yeah. And how much experience did you have in Ashtanga before you went to India?
Mm-hmm.
Like, did you have the primary series on lock before you went?
No. So I was practicing maybe half of it
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't have really like no one to taught me like the rest.
Got it.
And maybe I tried some postures with my teacher,
Mm-hmm.
but I wasn't like feeling confident to do the whole thing yet.
Mm-hmm.
But when I went to India, in that time I did the whole primary series.
Right.
I did the full posture, and there's a beautiful energy that your body opens up so much there because you are trusting and because you're bringing all of your attention and your awareness into the practice.
Right.
So
And you're doing it how often during the day? Like how many?
like every day you do it once.
Okay, so
But the
roughly
rest-
2 to 3 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours.
But
Okay.
the rest of the time, even though you are not doing asanas, you are focused in
Yeah.
the practice. Like you can study.
Like jhana yoga, right? Yeah, is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, and
Yeah.
yes, there's many classes outside, and not just like of philosophy,
Right.
but also like of music, Ayurveda. But at the end, all of it, it's part of yoga.
Right, of course.
Right?
Right.
That's a very important
Right.
thing to mention. Like yoga is not just the asana part.
Right.
And talking about Ashtanga also is not a style of yoga,
Right.
right? Ashtanga yoga is a lifestyle
Right.
in a way. It's like a path.
See, I'm still learning. I'm constantly being taught.
And without taking like the name of Ashtanga yoga, like yoga in general,
Yeah.
it's also the way you experience life.
Right.
You know, how you want to live life.
Right.
And yes, it's beautiful because then you understand that for being like a yogi, we can call it like that.
Yeah.
It's not about just doing asanas. It's like, okay, how do you treat yourself with food?
Again, yeah. How do you
What
show
are
up in the
you
world?
studying?
Mhm.
Are you really reading also this part? Even though, of course, it's very important to have the experience, you also need to study. You
Right.
know, it's like a balance.
I feel like this is a really good segue into the 5 elements of Ashtanga, because you're talking about how it's a lifestyle. It's not just like you go work out, you forget about it the rest of the day. It's like the way that you show up on your mat is the way that you're going to show up at work, in your relationships, all of it, right? And you explained to me during the retreat that we did the 5 elements, and this is an even deeper look into just how the Ashtanga that you do on your mat shows up in your life.
Because your practice is the reflection of your life.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
the reflection.
Yeah.
Like your practice says so much of you.
Yeah.
Like when yesterday we were talking about, like your physical form
Right.
talks of your internal form,
Right.
your internal figure.
Exactly.
That what is your internal figure? Your emotions, your thoughts, your habits,
Beliefs.
your stories.
Yep. The stories that you tell yourself.
Of
Yep.
course,
Yeah.
everything are vibrations that create a form that
Right.
is your body.
Right, and the anger, shame, guilt, those are much lower vibrations than the peace, the happiness, the clarity, the joy, which are the love, which are much more powerful, right? And can really be very enlightening and attractive for yourself and for other relationships.
Yes,
Yeah.
and we have to pass through all, right?
Yeah, yep.
Also, if we don't want to see it, we have to pass through it so we can also experience the other side.
Yeah.
Like how we experience happiness if we haven't cried in our life.
Exactly.
Right? Like
Yeah.
how we will know this feels like this.
And that's why it's like the light and the dark. The dark isn't bad.
No.
Right? The dark might be painful, but it's not bad. It's necessary to be moving through that, you know. But so share with me what the 5 elements are.
Okay, so we start with the breath.
This is number 1.
Number 1. The breath is so important, and slowly with time we forget about the breath. Even when we are babies, like if you are, I don't know, in the dust, in the plants, and if you are getting like some dirt in your clothes, what the first thing that people say, no, right? So what does the baby do? Cuts its breath.
Yep.
So slowly, with many situations of your life, fear, anger, many things,
We slow our breath.
you
Yep.
slow and cut our breath. So we
Yeah.
lose, or like, we disconnect with this part.
Yeah. Yep.
So we are starting like to reconnect with our breath, and learning that we need to always take some time to breathe before saying something.
Right.
Breathe before choosing.
Right.
Breathe before like everything.
Yeah.
Right.
And continue breathing even when we get triggered, or we're in like a challenging conversation, because it's those moments where it's easiest to lose the breath. But if we keep our breath, right, then we're getting that nutrition to every cell in our body, and it prevents the fight or flight to truly take over our ability to think clearly, creatively. Our body doesn't shut down because the breath is still bringing that oxygen, bringing that nutrition to
even
all
right
parts.
now,
Yeah.
we have to keep our breath. Like.
Yeah. I'm like, what question do I ask next? I forget to breathe. Yeah.
But yes, it's beautiful because it's a tool. Like, we have already the best tool inside us.
Yeah.
Breath.
It's always with us.
Always with us.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So
Number
the
one.
breath, the number
Okay.
one. Also, because in the asana practice, the one who leads the movement is the breath. You, before you move, you take an inhale or exhale, depending the movement. But always the guide, the music is the breath.
Right. Right.
So we try to keep a very flowy, constant, deep breath.
Right. Right.
Of course, with time, it gets longer, but at the beginning, it might be shorter, and it's part of the process, you
Right.
know? And us teachers, for new students, it's like the first thing you need to like show.
Is breath.
It's not asanas, it's
Right.
not posture, it's like observe your breath.
Right. Because the asanas don't matter if you're not breathing correctly.
How does the energy flows? Like,
Right. Right.
right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, so well, that's number one.
Number one.
Then let's go to drishti. Very important.
Yeah.
Where does your sight go? So in the asanas,
Yep.
in every asana there's a drishti. Is where you bring your attention, your sense,
Your focus.
your focus. And
Yeah.
it's the same drishti inside the mat, outside the mat.
Right.
Where are you putting your attention outside? Where
Yep.
is your focus?
And is drishti only external like awareness, like being aware of like only external environment, or could drishti also be like where we're focusing on our internal environment also?
Both.
Okay.
Both
Wonderful.
are very important.
Good. Okay.
Yes. And because we're used to always look outside.
Yeah.
So the drishti will make your practice inward.
Right.
Will bring the attention inward. The society is made for us to be like distracted
Of course.
with colors, with
being in the
everything.
world. Right.
But in the world is this.
Right. Like in the real world
Yeah.
is in here. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
So we are like, okay, let's bring back our attention
Yeah.
so you can like live peacefully
Right.
outside.
Right. Wonderful.
Yes. So that's number 2.
Breath, drishti.
Drishti. We go to vinyasa. Vinyasa is the union of breath and movement.
Where this is where it all comes together, right?
Yes,
here.
it's when it comes together, and
Yeah.
also in life.
Right.
So, yes, this is very similar to the breath, because at the end you understand that there's no movement without taking
breath,
the
yeah.
breath. It's just being aware of every decision you take, every step you
Being
take
conscious.
in your life. It's
Right.
bringing this awareness.
Right. Okay.
Then we can go to bandas.
Which is number 4. Okay.
That bandas.
I'm trying to focus on that
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now. I'm like slumping over. I gotta come back up.
I'm saying it and you're getting like
Yeah. I'm
longer.
like bandas. Yeah.
I love it. Bandas is they are like energetic locks that they
Right.
will help to prevent the
Loss of energy.
loss of energy in postures.
Right.
Yes.
And so you have 3 bandhas. You have I forget the name of them, but
Mula Bandha.
Mula Bandha, which is essentially like your sacrum.
The root.
Root.
Is the root.
Okay.
So Mula, it means root.
Root.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it's the root bandha.
Okay.
That it comes like when you activate or you engage, we can call it like that.
Yeah.
Your pelvic floor.
Mm-hmm.
It brings the energy up.
It's kind of like if you've ever heard of like Kegels or like the muscle you use to stop peeing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's kind of like that same muscle. It's like you lock that muscle in,
Mm-hmm.
and it keeps the energy in. Yep.
Yes, and it's a very slightly action. So
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to squeeze.
Okay. Still learning.
No, it's
Yeah.
in everything. Even in the postures in asana, you don't want to squeeze your muscles.
Mm-hmm.
You want to activate.
Right.
You want to lift.
Right.
You want to feel, like light.
Right.
But Mula Bandha also help you to get rooted, but it helps to bring the energy up. So when you active Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha comes together.
And that's what how do you pronounce it again?
Uddiyana Bandha.
Uddiyana Bandha. And where's that one?
2 fingers
Above the
above
belly.
the belly button.
Above the belly button. Okay.
There is like your center.
Okay.
For
That's literally what
example-
I visualize when I think of like coming back to my center. It's like right here. Yeah.
Kundalinis call it the hara. It's your power, where like your inner strength is like built.
That's fascinating too, because like when we learn about like I was telling you about Mantak Chia, this is like sexual kung fu, being able to utilize your creative energy. When you cycle it up through your spine, you bring it back into this area, because this area has the largest capacity to hold that energy. And the other cool thing is that this is exactly where you left the I'm forgetting the name of it, but you left your mother, right? This was your last
Cordon
source.
umbilical.
Yeah, your umbilical cord. Yeah. And it's like this is the like landing pad for all of your mother's nutrients and the support that you gain from her. And so it's like this area is just like the epicenter of energy in the body.
Yes, and it's so beautiful because since I was very little, my mom always told me like, if you're scared, if you're confused, or like you don't find stability, put your fingers here and breathe. So I was doing that since I was little.
You were learning how to center as a child.
Yeah, even though I really knew what was all of this.
Yeah.
But I was doing it because I know it will help. So I was in constant contact with the core, the center, without knowing the Uddiyana, And well, this Uddiyana Bandha will help you to feel lighter. Right. So in these postures, or if you see videos of yogis moving very fluid and with a lot of control of their self, their body, is because they are very active in their bandhas. Okay. And of course, like you said, there are muscles inside that maybe if we haven't really worked with them or been aware with them, it takes time, every single muscle and every single thing in life. Right. Right. So these ones are, they take time. Yeah. They can take lives. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. Yeah. And then you have your third bandha, which is in Jarandhara Bandha. Okay. That you activate. Still getting these names down. You activate it, bringing your shin slightly down so the energy don't goes from your mouth, eyes, head. It's kind of like you're taking 3 parts of a pipe and locking them together so that the energy can perfectly flow and there's no obstruction. Okay, that's why it's important to keep good posture too, so that you're keeping a clear flow of energy. Yes. Okay. And usually this bandha, you just do it in Ashtanga Yoga you remember the last sequence of sitting, the one that you're like this? Yes. In this one. Yeah. So imagine you are in your lotus. And you're bringing these fingers together. Right. And your hands like this. So why we want to create the lotus? Because with time, when you have everything sealed, the energy can flow through all of your body, with the bandhas. Right. So the energy is never lost. So you are pressing here. Your legs are helping to move the energy. it goes up and you have the banda, so it don't goes, and down it don't go. So it's this constant moving.
It's like the infinity
and
symbol, but in your body. Yeah.
Yes, so now you're experiencing that too.
Right, right. So we have bandhas, we have dristi, we have breath, we have vinyasa.
And asanas.
And asanas. Okay.
Finally.
Finally. See, asanas are not first. You need to have this other stuff online.
Yes.
Yeah.
And asanas is a beautiful way to get in contact with your body, because in that way your body can communicate with you.
Right.
Sometimes you feel like a little bit like, I don't know, something in your knee, and it's like your knee trying to tell you like, hey, give me some attention, give me some love, you know, like I also need to be, I don't know, like bring the awareness to your knee, the breath to your knee, because we get so used to feel pain.
Yeah.
And then you feel like it's part of you, like you wake up every day and you're like, oh, this is hurting, but it's every day.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's like, it's part of me. And
no, it's not. This is a symptom. This is your body telling you, hey, I need some attention.
Yeah, and every day we need to have like a small detox of mind, thoughts, but also like your body, and you need to like get active and strong and feel this balance.
Right.
And it's a beautiful way to communicate, to create, to express, and to liberate from many, many things in your life that are like holding you and bringing you a lot of tightness, anxiety. Yeah. So yes, it's like,
yeah,
like
that's what, yeah, but that's why I've come to like Ashtanga so much, because it's just such a wholesome process in becoming aware of ourselves, becoming more wholesome within ourselves, becoming more conscious of our experience, becoming more of the creators of our experience, like coming back to the power, really. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like we said before, Ashtanga Yoga has 6 series.
Right.
So the first series is Yoga Chikitsa, yoga of the therapy.
Okay. Yoga therapy.
Therapeutic yoga, we can
therapeutic
call it.
Yoga. Okay.
I'm just translating from Spanish to English.
Understood. Yeah. You're doing a great job, honestly. You have great English.
So it's just like bringing your body active, you know, getting connected with your roots, with your toes, like every single part of your body gets super active and connected. And
it helps everything come into balance, right? So you're not just in your head, you're not just in your heart, you have this wise mind connection between the two, and that is the platform for fantastic decision making, a great way to be present and show up in your life.
And then is when you realize also that yoga is very profound if you want it to be.
Right.
The practice will be super soft if you want to make it soft. It will be super hard if you want to make it hard. At the end, we decide how we want to do our practice and our life. How we take every single practice day by day, knowing that it's never the same. The practice for me has been one of the most beautiful ways of showing me the impermanence of life.
Yes. And being okay with that. And being okay with that. Like that's the biggest thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been studying with my mom Tibetan Buddhism, and for real, at the beginning was like, okay, how I really connect the impermanence with my practice. It's there every day.
Yeah.
I have the same body, but not.
Yeah, and detaching to the expectation that it has to be always the same, or it has to be a certain way. Just being with what is. Being with what is like the biggest form of like letting go. And
it's
so
like relieving.
Oh my God! It's like I just want to like, this is what it looks like. It's just like big deep breath, you know.
Yes, it's just like there's nothing to show.
Right.
You know, not to anyone, either to yourself.
Yeah, just showing
nothing
up.
to prove.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
You release all the expectations that you have of the practice, of your body, of how it should seem, because we are so different. Every single person is so different that we can't expect to have the same posture, the same lifestyle, the same way of living, because
100%.
starting like looking into the asana part, the postures, imagine you and me. You're a man, I'm a woman.
Yeah.
Starting
right there,
from
it's different. Yeah.
We have different cultures, right? So also that it's very important. Like his story, it's very important. If you had a religion, if I have one, your body type.
Yeah. All coming from different backgrounds and resources.
Everything is so different.
Yeah.
Of course, we are connected to the same practice, the same, we can call it like, it's not goal, it's like, how do you say, like
structure, intention.
It's the same intention.
Yeah.
But we are finding
Path.
our way.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Right. Yeah.
We want to be very loving and respectful how we practice.
Right.
Very of our process.
Yeah.
We can't rush. There's not shortcuts.
Yeah.
There is no shortcut.
There's no shortcut. And if you think there is a shortcut, it's actually it's gonna be a long cut, because it's gonna hold you back from actually just going on the path that needs to be gone on. So
deeper things take time.
They do. And with that, we don't have too much time left.
Okay.
But this has been fantastic. We've wanted to do this for a few days now, and now we're finally getting to drop in. And I got to learn even more about you and solidify more of my Ashtanga practice. But I'm sure, like myself, that people who are listening or watching are going to have questions for you about the Ashtanga practice, or maybe more about your story, since we only got to give glimpses. But where can people find you? Where do you like when people reach out to you? Where can people maybe see some of your content, or maybe practice with you virtually?
So this is this is so fun, because for me it has been a little bit hard to put like classes or like talks on YouTube or Instagram like this, because I felt always that I wasn't ready. Right. You know?
But I learned a lot from you via Instagram.
Yeah.
I mean, personally speaking.
Yeah, but mostly I share on Instagram everything.
Right.
Yes, and I'm very inspired by you and your work, that really I'm thinking very seriously to start my YouTube channel or something in Spotify, like a podcast or something, because it's so beautiful, like how you share all of your knowledge and all of what you've been experiencing in life through this, and people can get inspired, you know, and get into like this path. So soon, I have already my YouTube.
So what is your YouTube? Let's just say that so people can be the first to be there.
Karla with K, Armenta.
Okay, I'll tag you.
Yes, you tag me.
You find all of the links that she's going to share with us below. Instagram, YouTube, maybe an NFT collection some point soon.
Yes, we're working on that. We're working on that.
Yep, and also it sounds like until the YouTube is up, you're actually just going to have to come to Casa Atma here in Puebla, Mexico, and practice with us. And we do actually, I shouldn't say we, I'm not one of the facilitators, but Karla and Grant, who will also be on the podcast, are going to be holding another retreat February 9th of 2022. Yes. So hopefully you're listening to this before that time period, and maybe we'll get to see you here.
Yes, because Marcelo is staying.
Yeah, because I'm staying.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
I'm so honored and so happy.
This will not be the last time.
I know.
For sure.
I know.
We're going to do like another one next week.
Yes, for sure. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Wonderful. Well, guys, again, like always, if you guys found this content valuable or, provocative so that you're thinking a different way, let's have a conversation about it. Let's reach out to one of us on Instagram, maybe drop a comment in the comments below. And as always, if you found this really valuable, and only if you found it really valuable, a like or a subscription goes a very long way. But for right now, we'll see you in the next video, or maybe at Casa Atma in February.
Yes, namaste.
Namaste, much love.
Yay!
Wonderful, let's go. That was wonderful.
Amazing.
Let's make sure this...
Oh, imagine it didn't. Well,